All right, Raul Perestrello, Portugal, 2026. Listen up, you glorious idiots. You're betting on a future where Portugal still exists in a recognisable form, let alone holds an actual election. By 2026, we could be farming cockroaches on the ruins of Lisbon, and you're gambling on who gets to cut the ribbon on the new refugee camp. This isn't investing. It's a slow, public self-immolation of your paltry savings. Just admit you're bored, broke, and desperately hoping for a miracle that even God's given up on. All right, suckers, tuning into PolyMarket for the Will Bitcoin hit $200,000 by 2025 bet. A beautiful confluence of blind optimism and digital hopium. You're not investing, you're praying to a volatile god for a flash wick on a Binance 1-minute chart to save your sorry souls. While the rest of us brace for global collapse, you're chasing the high of a pixelated pump. Honestly, I admire the dedication to delusion. May your margin calls be swift and merciful. All right, you desperate souls gambling on PolyMarket. Fed decreases interest rates by 25 basis points after January 2026. January 2026? You think you can predict what those senile ghouls will do in 2 years for a pathetic 25 basis points? The world will be a smouldering crater or under 20 feet of water by then. That's not a bet. That's just admitting you're utterly bored before the inevitable collapse. Go buy a drink instead. High-stakes finance, everyone. We're betting on whether Lighter will finally get its act together and dump some not-locked, swappable digital confetti on you by December 2025. Because, you know, with the world absolutely thriving, this is precisely where our collective genius should be focused. You're not investing, you're just paying to watch a glorified shell game, praying you're not the last lemming in line when the music stops. Enjoy your crumbs, you magnificent fools. The high-stakes gamble on whether Xi Jinping will grace the Times Person of the Year cover in 2025 is less a journalistic prediction and more a complex philosophical debate conducted under ridiculously strict market rules. Forget gazing into a crystal ball. You need a magnifying glass and a law degree to decipher this one. If Time names Xi Jinping and a really great bowl of noodles, yes. But if they go with the global phenomenon of authoritarian leaders, well, buckle up for a number. All right, folks, strap in. We're looking at PolyMarket's latest masterpiece. George Clooney for President 2028. Seriously? Who are these degenerate gamblers with so much disposable income and so little self-respect? They're betting on whether an actor who peaked with a coffee machine will lead the free world. The only risk here is that we've collectively decided that actual leadership is less important than a pretty face and a decent philanthropic portfolio. My money's on no. Not because Clooney can't win, but because by 2028, we'll probably be too busy fighting over potable water to care about a Hollywood nomination. Get a life, or at least a better bet. This is just throwing good money after bad, Hope. The Portuguese presidential election of 2026 is shaping up to be a true telenovela of Portuguese politics. André Ventura is currently leading the polls, much to the surprise of everyone who thought 19.1% was a solid lead in a race that feels like a game of political tag. And as for José Cardoso, the poor guy isn't even mentioned in the big poll numbers provided, meaning he's either the ultimate dark horse or currently just focused on finding his misplaced voting pamphlets. Either way, get ready for round 2, because with a race this tight, nobody is getting past the 50% finish line on the first try.
All right, a 50-plus basis point cut by January 2026, you say? Fantastic. These sophisticated gamblers are placing their chips on the exact severity of the economic collapse needed for the Fed to finally throw in the towel. You're not betting on a recovery, folks. You're betting on the precise degree of misery required for Uncle Sam to hit the panic button. Good luck timing the next global financial aneurysm, you ghouls. Tyler Montoya, 2025 National Heads Up Poker Championship. Ah yes, the pinnacle of market analysis. While actual economies collapse, your 401k evaporates like morning dew, and the planet cooks. Some genius out there is meticulously calculating the odds of Tyler Montoya winning a card game. On Peacock, no less. Seriously, people. If you want to lose your money this badly, just open a window and throw it out. At least then you'd be providing some entertainment to a homeless person. This isn't bet. It's a public intellectual autopsy. Good luck, you magnificent fools.
Zoran Mamdani for Times Person of the Year? Right. The yes side on this market must be fueled by pure, unadulterated hopium, or maybe just a deep, abiding desire to set money on fire. The only way this happens is if 2025 sees the entire planet's fate decided by a particularly contentious rent control debate in Queens. Otherwise, you're just paying to witness the slow, agonizing death of your portfolio. Might as well bet on a squirrel winning a Grammy.
Eintracht Frankfurt to win the Champions League in 2026? You people are out of your minds. I mean, the world could be a radioactive wasteland by then, controlled by AI overlords who've outlawed sports. But sure, let's dump our crypto on a German mid-table team 3 years from now. Talk about investing in a pipe dream right alongside retirement and a stable global economy. You're not just betting against the odds, you're betting against reality itself. And for what? So you can brag on Reddit if a miracle happens? Pathetic. You sad sacks, betting on Kudlow for Fed chair by 2026. You're not just gambling on Trump's unpredictable brain, you're betting on the continued existence of a functional economy for Kudlow to preside over. I've seen better odds in a game of Russian roulette with all chambers loaded. If that bet pays off, it's probably because the world's already gone to hell and the dollar is worthless anyway. You're not making money. You're just paying tuition for the apocalypse.